back with another jam-packed episode of Lunes Live. Your Compas got you covered with all of our takeaways from the wild Week 12 in the NFL. At one point, Sean McVay thought it was Week 11. He goes, "Yeah, I don't even know what week it is." But speaking of Sean McVay, his Rams dominated the Buccaneers. That game, I don't know what game was over quicker, Notre Dame versus Syracuse, which was 35-0 at the end of the first quarter, or this game that was, I think, 21-0 at the towards the middle part of the second quarter. But we'll give you our takeaways, especially Matthew Stafford. Got to speak to him after the game. Definitely not. He's not trying to hear all this MVP talk. He just wants to play football and try and win a Super Bowl. We'll get into some of the other things, like, are the Chiefs back after their recent victory over the Indianapolis Colts? The Cowboys rally from 21 points down to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I guess really, honestly, sorry, but fuck them kids. They were probably pissed about those boxing kids in Philly. These guys were like, let's go show those kids up and let's go take them out. But all right, Gilberto, don't you have an engagement question for our viewers and or listeners?
Yeah. What is it? Are the Rams the best team in the NFC? It's hard to deny it after the beatdown on your Buccaneers, Fernando. They're fading fast, but the Buccaneers tend to have like a stretch where they fade and then they have like a fight before they lose in the first or second round. That's kind of what they do. But they're not down yet. But the Rams did beat them up. Baker Mayfield couldn't punch above his weight class, so let me know. The Rams lost to the Eagles, but they did beat up on the Buccaneers and they beat the Seahawks. Your Seahawks again, Fernando. So are the Rams the best team in the NFC? It's hard to deny it, but it's between them and the Eagles. And after that, I don't really care.
You remind me of an individual that I spoke to last night. And he was like, "You picked the Cowboys? Huh, you're crazy." I wasn't so crazy after that. And I gave him some other takes, and he's like, "Nah, no." And then later he started thinking about it. Okay, you might be. I was like, I'm not crazy. I'm just ahead of the curve. I'll give you one or two of those takes. I'm going to save one of them for tomorrow when Dan's on, because I think he'll get an enjoyment out of what I say. But I do have one about the quarterback situation in Indianapolis. Okay. Yesterday I saw something that I think there's no way that Shane Steichen and the coaching staff can ignore. Not what I say. I just mean like what they see. But all right. Speaking of Matthew Stafford, 25 of 35, 273, 3 touchdowns. Puka Nacua, 7 catches, 97. Devontae Adams, 5 for 62 for 2 touchdowns. On the other side, I can't even get into it. It was very ugly. But it was a 34-7 victory. My question was, why the hell did Matthew Stafford not come out of the locker room after halftime in a baseball cap and in a hoodie? Why did he even play at all? And look, I try and let the local beat writers do whatever they need to do, but like, I would have grilled him a little bit more. Like, you just saw the opposing quarterback he came out in a sling. Why would you let your quarterback go back in there? And then he goes, well, what was his bullshit? It was, we knew he was going to hand it off, so why not just have him keep on going? I thought I didn't like that response. I don't know if it's stat stuffing. I don't know what they're trying to do, but I just didn't like that they came out like that in the second half. But Gilbert, I'll let you take it away, and then I'll give you my perspective on the rest of it. But are you yay or nay? Should Matthew have fourth quarter, let's be more fair. In the fourth quarter, should Matthew have still been in there?
I don't know. It's kind of like hindsight 2020. Like, honestly, like if
you were the first one tweeting out, why is Justin Herbert in this game still, back when they had games like that?
Yeah, but they're usually on the losing end. And like, at least when you're winning, you can control it by running the football. But I don't care. Like, honestly, like a lot of people on House of Horns were also mad at Sean McVay for not stepping on the gas in the second half. I'm like, this game was over in the first quarter. Like, this was actually like
different.
like a near perfect performance. So I really have nothing to complain about for that performance. They handled business. They beat down the Buccaneers, and people were saying, what would they could have like had more points in the second half. I'm like, it's just the game script. And I think at that point you had control. You run the football, you get out. But I get it. Like, you want to, protect your quarterback, an old quarterback at 37 years old. So
Who's had back problems?
had a lot of injuries in his career, so it'll be better to get him out. But he got lucky, McVay. You could say that nothing happened. It could have been worse. So, but at least you're consistent, Fernando. If you win or lose, you rather have the quarterback get out there or get out of there. So, that's good to be consistent. To me, it's kind of like it's one of these things where I'm not
Vita
gonna.
Vea almost got him on one of those, and I was like, if he would have continued the motion that he was in, that might have been he might have broken Abuelo's bones.
Yeah, and honestly, if he's out, this team is done. So I get that from that standpoint. It's probably one of those things where like you ask more on the Monday, the day after the game. We're like, okay, everybody's high and mighty off a victory. Now it's like, hey, like thinking about it, did you think you should have probably taken them out sooner? So I get that standpoint too. But I'm just surprised how many people are like, upset about the performance. Like they just beat down this a very competitive Buccaneers team. They just crushed Baker Mayfield. So yeah, I get it. When you see Baker Mayfield go down, you want to do the same. What was it? Was it the Jaden Daniels game? Oh, yeah. When Jaden Daniels got hurt, you know what the Seahawks did on the next drive? Sam Darnold, take a seat. We're not going to follow this path here of people getting hurt. So you just never know. But, a lot of things are just hindsight 2020. So I'm not going to make a big deal, but I get the point, Fernando, there. What the hell is Happy Thanksgiving, you guys?
Jorge, why you changed your at name, or maybe you changed it, but he said shout out Vic.
Is this a real Jorge Rodriguez? This is
no, yeah, I think it is. I think it is.
Uh-oh.
I don't think ESG 8052. He said, I hate to disagree with McVay. I hate to disagree with McVay not worrying about the number one seed. The number one seed means you would face Eagles or Seahawks to the conference final.
Nobody's happy about yesterday. This is weird.
No. But like, I think McVay does want that number one seed.
Yeah, he's not gonna admit to it.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm going with. Like, he's not gonna admit, oh, hey, yeah, we want that number one seed. We don't want to go freeze our asses off in Philly or have to go to it's like I know Seattle's not going to catch them for the division, but like having to go to Seattle in the cold in January, like you don't want to go there. They know exactly what they want to do. They want that number one seed. They don't want to have to go anywhere in the playoffs. They want to let it go through SoFi Stadium. So I completely understand why Sean said that. Sean's like, no, we still got a lot going on. Could you remember who the number one seed was last year at this point? I believe it was Philly, but I'm not. No, I wasn't.
I looked it up. It was Detroit and Kansas City.
And oh yeah,
Sean McVay saying like it doesn't matter. It kind of does because those two teams ended up being the number one seed in the playoffs, so they held on to it for the final 6 games.
Well, but and then no.
Well, Chiefs made it. They got their butts whooped, but they managed the Super Bowl, and then the Lions choked in the division round. So.
Yeah,
maybe it doesn't mean everything to get the division around, but to go against McVay's point, if you have the number one seed right now, you're kind of in a good spot. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, does that mean we have a strong chance of getting Patriots, Rams in the Super Bowl part 3 in this century? By the way, it was Kurt Warner and Tom Brady, and then Jared Goff and Tom Brady, and then maybe Drake May and Matthew Stafford. But I am worried about Will Campbell going down for the Patriots. But that's a story for a different time. But I don't think that would be like if you had a guest today, Fernando. I don't think it would be Patriots Rams, but that's just me.
You know what's funny? Speaking of which, Trey Smith has a high and low ankle sprain. How the hell do you get both? Like that was crazy. That's what they said today.
He had a high and a low?
High ankle and low ankle sprain.
Damn.
I don't get how you do that.
Just call it an ankle injury. A full ankle.
I know. I still worry about their secondary, but I had never met Kobe Durant. He's a firecracker. Like he kind of gave me the vibes of I know this probably isn't the best way to go. Jack Jones, kind of like that vibe where like he talks like he just started laughing. Like he had me laughing when he's like, yeah, I saw Baker coming towards me and I'm like, oh no, I ain't getting tackled by a quarterback. And he's like, I had to sidestep him. And I'm like, wow, that's pretty good. So he was pretty funny. But yeah, I feel like the Rams are a really good team. The only thing is their secondary is kind of an issue. Teams are releasing guys. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't go get Brandon Cooks, the Rams, to kind of add
wide
a little bit
receiver.
more. Yeah, to kind of add a little bit more. But I mean, I think they're happy with what they have. It seems to me, the way I've watched them the last 2 games, it seems to me like they have the flash, like like the flashy receiver in Devontae who catches the touchdowns, and they have the guy who does all the dirty work, which is Puka. Again, last night, Puka went off toward the end of the third quarter. He went off kind of hobbled, and I'm like, why is he still in this game? Like, what are you guys doing? So, but whatever. It is what it is. They came off, I guess, unscathed, and now they go into what could potentially be a number 1 versus a number 1 in the division. If the Panthers win tonight, they are the number
Yeah.
1. This fool's like celebrating, getting his pom poms out, and what did McVay say? It's not over.
Hey,
But
you and I are competing tonight for the wins challenge. Your 49ers against my Panthers.
oh, there you go.
Panthers I always wanted.
I there are just some things that I still have questions on when it comes to the Rams. The run game, he goes away from it for long stretches of time, and I don't get why. By the way, Kyron he was pretty funny. He looks at me and he goes, "Why do you look familiar?" I was like, "Oh, I was at your combine, or at your pro day." He's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, he goes, "Yeah, there's not a lot of you guys out there." And I started laughing. He's like, "I remembered you," and I was like, "Oh, I appreciate it." So I thought that was pretty funny. But um, just lastly, when the offensive line is a little bit of a concern still, because I know that they have had issues with it, but the run, I don't know why, like, they go away from the run. And it's funny because Eric and I kind of talk about that. I didn't talk to him yesterday. Well, I did, because Dan wanted me to make sure that Eric was okay, because he wrote in his article, is that it could make Pete Carroll be a one and done coach, and Dan felt for Eric on that one. But yeah, I mean, again, they're a pretty strong team. I think they're in. You know how you usually choose 5 or 6 teams that you think could win it all? They're definitely in that 5 to 6 teams for sure. I think they're in the top 4, probably top 3, maybe. But again, their secondary is an issue, and I'm just interested to see what they kind of do moving forward with that secondary. But again, they're a really good football team. I think Matthew Stafford's playing incredible football. 27 touchdowns since his last interception. That ties Tom Brady's record. That is huge. I don't know. I'll give it to Gilbert after this, but I don't know, because I feel like now it seems like positional players are the ones that are more of the, yeah, this is my last Super Bowl, like Ray Lewis, Jerome Bettis. I know Peyton did it, but Peyton had nothing left in the gas. Matthew might look at this team and be like, hey, we could still, because they have $94 million in cap next year. Obviously, they have to re-sign players and stuff, but he's going to look at that and be like, you know what, we could probably do it again. And then in our own stadium. And then that's what happened with Tom Brady. Everybody thought Tom Brady should have retired after his first year in Tampa, and after he won the Super Bowl. And he's like, no, I think we can still do it. So I think that competitive side of Matthew is going to get him, and he'll say, no, I feel like we can do this again.
Yeah, I think that question is maybe meant more for the Rams. Like, if they win the Super Bowl, I feel like the Rams would be the one like, okay, we're good. It's time to get younger and get a first round pick quarterback. Maybe not, because this class of quarterback supposedly is crappy. I kind of hate that before the season starts, oh, it's loaded. Everybody's gonna come out, and I was like, it sucks. I'm like, what you said 4 months ago, it's gonna be good. Now it sucks, and then you go into the draft and like, oh, these guys suck, and then you have like 3 guys that do well. Anyways, I don't know how much you put stock into that, but if the Rams really want to get younger, I could see it. They keep giving them these 1-year deals. Like, let's not forget that the Rams have kind of been slowly hinting and trying to push him out. They let him shop around on his own. Like, hey, go talk to the Raiders or go talk to the Jets. I forget who else was in the Giants. So honestly, if that happens, like, how many suitors would Matthew Stafford have? He'll probably have like 5, teams that would just be willing to do whatever it takes to get him. He's playing that well. So that could be an interesting dilemma. Like, you kind of say, cool, we're cool with 2 Super Bowls, or you just keep it going the way he's playing. And honestly, I'm with you. I think Stafford probably wants to keep playing. Everybody seems to want to retire this guy already. All the mock drafts say the Rams should take a first round quarterback. Everybody was ringing the alarms, myself included, when Stafford wasn't practicing the whole summer. In 2022, he had an elbow issue, he had 2 concussions, and he had a spinal cord contusion. And everybody was saying, "Oh, it's time to retire." And it's been 3 years later. He had a great year in 23, good year in 24, and even better in 25. So we're all trying to get this guy to the retiring home, but at the end of the day, it's his decision. And like you mentioned, Fernando, quarterbacks tend to stick around even when it gets ugly. Aaron Rodgers, look at yourself in the mirror. Guys just think they could stick it around and always could play top tier football. But it's starting to seem like Stafford could be one of those guys. It's just like, it's not like with Tom Brady, because Tom Brady never, like, besides that torn ACL in 2008, he was pretty healthy for the most part. He knew how to kind of stay upright. He knew how to protect his body. I don't know about the witchcraft in Brazil, juju magic, but Stafford, I don't know if he could go that long, but I could see another 2 to 3 years, and he'll be 40 by then. No way he goes to 45 like freaking Brady, but I could see 3 years still after this.
Yeah, I get. I think regardless, obviously, yesterday I could hear Rams people, staffers, they were hoping that the Saints would win because they want
they're
that
checking the
Falcons pick
score.
to be lower and lower. I think with that Falcons pick, they could take a quarterback. They may be able to, or maybe they wait until next year and do that and go with
It
a
wouldn't hurt to
quarterback.
develop one, like, under your own terms instead of rushing the guy, and you have Stafford still there.
Well, again, I could see them taking a pet project like Anthony Richardson
That too.
and being
He
like,
does that.
okay, let's develop him. Yeah. So I don't know. But again, I do think that their next quarterback is not in the NFL right now. I think they should draft somebody, and they should maybe, like, if they wait until next offseason, and let's just say that Arch ends up being an okay player, he's a first round draft pick, but he's like a 15 to 25. You don't think Sean would want him, sit him, and teach him, and then be like, all right, in a year, let me deploy, like, let me throw you out there into the NFL and let's do this together. I'm sure the Mannings, man, I'm telling you, this is the first time we've gotten a Manning in here since, and I know I'm getting ahead of myself, the first Manning since Eli. They're going to pull some bullshit. I can tell you right now. They're going to do something. They're going to want to get him to McVay, O'Connell, Purdy, 49. They're going to want to get him to an offensive mind like that.
You know what's funny, Fernando? Like, we consider Sean McVay this offensive genius, and I think for the most part that's a fair statement for him. But you can't be called a total genius until you get that rookie quarterback that you develop and you have for the long haul.
Yeah.
Like Jared Goff, I guess, was young. He got him in his second year.
He gave up on him.
But he did give up on him. That's where I was headed. And then Stafford was already ready to go. We just kind of, put him into your scheme and you took off. They're going to want to get him to Greg Roman. Oh, boy. I will see if Roman is still in the league next year. But look at Kevin O'Connell and look at guys like Kevin Stefanski. Like, these guys are supposedly these gurus, and they're struggling to develop quarterbacks. And, unless Stefanski makes sure Drew Sanders is great savior in Cleveland, then I don't know if that's going to happen. But Kevin O'Connell is supposedly this quarterback whisperer and can't even develop his own guy. JJ McCarthy has been horrendous. So it's not that easy to do it. And maybe McVay wants to challenge himself to do that. But what if he goes the veteran route, like you said, like a reclamation project again?
By the way, did you see that post game interview in the Browns locker room? Stefanski took forever to talk about
Shedeur.
Yeah, that looked a little awkward.
I feel like he's doing it on purpose at this point to trope people.
Maybe. All right, let us move on. Good discussion on that. And now that I've been to a couple of games, man, you should. I know you can't. That Lions game would be a good one. I can't wait for that one. That'll be a good game to go to.
125 game, I think, right?
Yeah. Gilbert yesterday, and I mean, obviously, I had a feeling. I don't know what the feeling was. I just felt like Philly was riding high. Riding high in a sense, but like, that there were issues with AJ Brown, issues with Saquon Barkley, all that going on. But yesterday they get out to a 21-0 lead after an AJ Brown 16-yard touchdown, 2 Jalen Hurts rushing touchdowns, and right before halftime, George Pickens gets a 1-yard touchdown that puts him at 21-7. And then with 3 minutes left in the third quarter, Spanford, the tight end, catches a touchdown. Okay, it's fine. The Phillies defense will lock it down. Then 11:40, Prescott takes the ball, does a somersault into the end zone, ties things up. Then they screw up in the. I might have this one wrong. Then they screwed up to try and tie the game. They don't tie it. Then Dak ties it up. And then Philly has the ball to end the game. Everybody thinks, okay, they're going to be able to do something. They can't. They punt it to Dallas. Dallas brings it all the way up and scores a game-winning field goal. Gilbert, what is your takeaway? Why did the Philadelphia Eagles, is it more about the Eagles losing that game, or is it more about the Cowboys kind of willing their way to winning that game? Because that was tough. I'm sure all those guys took ice baths after, because that was a slugfest kind of a game.
Yeah, I think it was one of those games where the Eagles didn't do what they needed to do to win the game. Like, they cared about style points. They cared about getting AJ Brown involved. And I get it. You went up 21-0 by airing it out to Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. But, like, that's not how you win football games. And you have the specialty of beating up teams with physical football, short yardage football with the tush push and running the football. How do you go up 21-0 and Saquon Barkley comes away with 10 carries? Like, don't you think you want to feed the guy to end the game? He had 10 carries for 22 yards. I know he got a little more in the passing attack and he fumbled, and I don't think the Cowboys scored after he fumbled. But it was like kind of a mix of like not doing what you usually do, not closing how you usually close, and then also a bunch of killer turnovers. A fumble, I think, on special teams too was killer. So yeah, it kind of felt like, let's make AJ Brown happen. Like, let's kill this Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown feud. And they always kind of do that. Like, after like 4 or 5 games where he's upset and he's crying about it on Twitch, they try to feed him. Like, who cares? Like, honestly, I'm so over this storyline, Fernando, and I know you are too. If AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts would just say, okay, dude, like, I'm sorry, you're not gonna get your stats this year. We're gonna try to win a Super Bowl. After that, let the franchise pick you or me, and we go our separate ways. If it's too much of a problem, go ahead and pick. And I know somebody was trying to compare this to Russell Wilson in Seattle, where, like, Jalen Hurts was a little too corny. A lot of quotes, a lot of like me, and I'll just do it my way. I don't care to get style points. So maybe they're headed that way, and people don't like it. But right now, go and be a repeat champion, because the way they're headed, they're going to have a game in the playoffs where they're going to be fighting, bickering, and they're going to lose. They're going to get caught, and then boom, see you later. So do what you can, be professional, go win another Super Bowl, and then cut ties. I'm so tired of this feud here. When you've been winning so many games since you got here, AJ Brown. You want to go back to Tennessee? It doesn't make sense to me. Anyways, the point is, the real key here is Saquon Barkley. Get him unlocked, get him ready for the stretch run, get him ready for the playoffs. He went from having 2,000 yards last year, Fernando, to only one 100-yard rushing game this season. How do you get one 100-yard rushing game this season for Saquon Barkley? So maybe it's for the better to have him be at his best in December and January, February. But enough is enough. Run the football, and who cares about style points here?
I completely agree with you. I think their little feud, it kind of reminds me of another Eagles feud. Remember T.O. and Donovan McNabb? I mean, that's how they were kind of at each other's throats in multiple times. I mean, Terrell would throw Donovan under the bus, but then I remember Terrell would say, he wasn't innocent in all this. He would throw me under the bus too, and he did. It seems like AJ really isn't throwing him, or Jalen isn't really throwing him under the bus. It's more on AJ doing it. But at the same time, I think Nick Sirianni has like a hands-off method where he's kind of like, you guys need to figure this out. But at the same time, I think he kind of needs to come in and crack their skulls and be like, hey, it's time. Yeah. Like, stop messing around. The calendar's about to switch to December.
He likes to put the attention on him, like by cutting his hair or screaming at fans or doing something stupid in the fourth quarter. Like, that's his approach. But you're right. He needs to step in and take control of it sometimes,
Yeah. No, and he does. And I get it. Like, he knows that Jalen's an adult. He knows AJ's an adult. But at some point, sometimes these guys revert back to being kids, and you kind of need to control them and MF them and be like, hey, like, Do you guys not want to win a Super Bowl? And that's the thing, Gilbert, I've been getting to. This new generation doesn't care about that. They care about making their money. They care about having their names in lights and the fucking 6-7s and all this shit. That's all they care about. They don't care about winning Super Bowls. Like Tom Brady cared about winning 6 to 7 Super Bowls. These guys just care about two stupid numbers. Like
6-7.
I know, but like you want to have to win a championship. Like I get it. I know Mahomes is addicted to that. I'll be honest. Mahomes is addicted to winning Super Bowls. Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, those guys are addicted to winning Super Bowls. Not everybody's like that. I'm telling you, that Aaron Rodgers documentary, I sat through it because I wanted to see what he said after he won a Super Bowl. And he's like, once I won it, I was like, well, what else is there? Like, and that's what a lot of people say, a lot of players do. Once they get their first Super Bowl, they're kind of like, okay. Some guys are like, wow, I already won one. I want to win more. Not everybody's built like that, but maybe what AJ's goal is to be the best, a really good receiver and to get paid. He got paid. And his next goal was to show up the Tennessee Titans and win a Super Bowl. They lose the Super Bowl to the Chiefs. What was his mentality after that? Oh, you know what? I want to go back to the Super Bowl. I want to beat the Chiefs or whoever it is and get my first ring. He did that. Now, where's his method? What is it? What's the next thing? Is it now just getting your stats? So that's what they have to ask themselves. But I really do think no matter what happens, this is the last year that we're going to see of Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. They're headed for a divorce next offseason. I'm just wondering what team. Well, I already can tell you one, the Steelers. Steelers are going to go get whoever they can to get more weapons. But I'm just interested to see what teams are going to line up to get A.J. Brown because I know there's going to be a lot, but I'm just wondering if they're willing to deal with everything that they've seen. Like I remember last year, that stupid book thing. Everybody fell for it. Everybody bought the book. To me, it meant there was something. There was a reason why he was reading that. And it was like a pacifier for a child that keeps crying and screaming. They probably said, here, take this stupid book, go sit your ass over there and just read it. And everybody fell for it. Everybody's like, oh my God, look at him. He's reading a book. That's so great. He's getting into his zone. That's not it. It was a damn pacifier. They can't give him an iPad because he'll be playing Clash Royale or whatever the hell. But they gave him a book and he was able to relax and everything. But that book, notice we haven't talked about that damn book this whole season because that book's gone out the window. So maybe give him a new book. But yeah, that's why I don't fall for any of this crap that some in the media, like national reporters, try and pin on us. We're not pin, but like give us like, oh my God, this is so great. No, it's not. There's something behind it that is making him have to read that book during the game, and that's to let out his frustration, I guess, and to try and boost off.
If Philly had to pick between the two, they're taking Jalen Hurts all day, right?
They're going to keep Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is their quarterback. Jalen Hurts will go visit hospitals. Jalen Hurts will go do Troy drives. He'll do everything. Essentially, Jalen hasn't done anything wrong since he's been there, and neither has AJ. But Jalen's kind of like walks to the beat of his own drum. He's not jumping on Twitch and shitting on his receivers. So yeah, they would definitely.
He's not the best quarterback, but like he's shown to be clutch. The pressure doesn't rattle him, and then he's good at executing a tush push. Like those two things are gonna keep him around, I think.
And he outplayed Patrick Mahomes in 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, you could keep saying that all day on his resume, and that's why he's gonna stick around.
And that's all he needs. All right. By the way, but I was impressed with the not
Dallas.
giving up by Dallas. I was impressed by Dallas. They didn't give up. They took the slugging, then they went for it, and they and I'm telling you that end zone where he throws that pick in the end zone. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? I thought that was it, and no, they just kept on battling. Quinnen Williams and Kenny Clark. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams together are making that defensive line look different."
Yeah,
and again, no Trey Smith on Thursday for the Chiefs. I'm interested to see what Quinnen Williams is going to do to that offensive line on Thursday.
Put it this way, Fernando. Like I'm with you. I want to give Dallas credit. I still think their moves are for 2026, not for 25. And I think, they wasted the first half of the season trading Michael Parsons, but they've recovered nicely with Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams. And then I butcher the guy's name, Osa Odighizuwa. Whatever. They have 3 guys on the interior of the defensive line who are creating pressure They don't have many edges. They got to get one. They got to get more secondary. Continue building out the defense for 2026. But I mean, I don't think they're going to make it to the playoffs round because they probably can only lose one game and that's it. You have to win 10 games to make it in the NFC. I feel like to make a playoff spot, they're not going to go 5-1 the rest of the year. I don't see. They played Detroit after Kansas City too, by the way.
No, and the thing is that last night I'm sure you saw the TikTok that I put out where I asked Puka and Devontae about are they the best wide receiver duo. I had a lot of Cowboys fans in those videos saying, no, it's George Pickens and it's CeeDee Lamb. They're not shitbirds, though. I'm sorry, like I say that, but like CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens will pick a fight with people. They'll pick a fight with themselves or their teammates. Like they are like they're time bombs. Puka and Devontae aren't. Puka and Devontae just get in there and they go to the next play and that's it. Dude, CeeDee Lamb dropped a touchdown in the end zone and he yells at Dak and then he yells at his other teammates. I'm like, dude, that was on you. Like he has the yips. He has the drops right now. And I don't know. I that's why I couldn't call them the best wide receiver and duo in the NFL is because they
don't keep drinking though in Vegas because they're playing their best football ever since they got hungover together in Vegas. So
I know. Well, allegedly, because according to them, it was that Pickens didn't make a team bus or team meeting or whatever. Sure. But yeah, that's why I would say Puka and Devontae they have one common goal: win a Super Bowl. I don't know what the common goal because Puka wasn't on that team that won the Super Bowl, so he's never won one. So what's the common goal between Pickens and CD? Pickens, they're saying that he might get franchise tag. You don't think he's going to make a stink about that, especially if he outperforms CeeDee Lamb? Ooh, Dallas, just wait. But whatever. We'll get to that. Gilbert, on the other side of things, I have to go this route because it was a tale of two halves. In the first half, Indy gets out to a 14-9 lead or a 14-3 lead. And their offense was performing well. Danny Dimes was moving the ball up the field. Then at one point, it kind of turned off. Kareem Hunt, 30 carries, 104 yards, 1 touchdown. Mahomes was 29-46, 1 interception. I think Mahomes was sacked 3 times. Danny Dimes was not sacked once. Rashee Rice, 8 catches, 141. This was a tale of two halves. And in the second half, Danny Dimes just looked confused. He looked rattled. There was no pressure really around him, and he would just throw the football. He didn't anticipate. I mean, even what's it called? Warren, 5 catches, 45. Doolin, 1 catch, 48 yards. Pittman, 5 for 27, 1 touchdown. Pierce, 1 for 26. Like even Josh Downs, who sometimes is their third down guy, 2 catches, 10 yards. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden that game really unraveled for Indianapolis, and now it has Houston foaming at the mouth, knowing that they get to go up against Indy next weekend, and their defense is even better than Kansas City. So I'm going to let you go, and then I'm going to give you my takeaway from the game, because I have one takeaway that even Tyler Dragon was like, oh, like he thought that was a little aggressive, but I'll see what you think. But Gilbert, go ahead. What did you make of this game? Is it more on Kansas City winning it, or is it more on Indy lost that game?
I think Indy lost that game, and to Kansas City's credit, they saved their season, because if they would have lost that game, that would have been it. I would have forked that team. Yeah. But they lived to see another game, and we'll see what they do against Dallas, and they're playing well too right now. They can't afford any more losses, Kansas City, but that was a game the Colts were in control of for like 2.5 quarters, maybe 3 quarters, and you couldn't find anything else to get Jonathan Taylor involved. You couldn't get Daniel Jones to find another wide receiver. And that was my big concern with Indy, man. Like, they're just too reliant on Jonathan Taylor. And I'll try to take a guess of where you go with Jonathan Taylor. I like Jonathan Taylor. Or sorry, I'll try to take a guess on where you're going to go with this big, bold thing you're going to say. And I think it might be with Jonathan Taylor. I like Jonathan Taylor. He just has a lot of games where he gets quiet. And you can't go quiet when the whole team is relying on you to win games. Daniel Jones can't play without Jonathan Taylor. That is a big red flag for Indy. To their credit, they were competitive. I think Daniel Jones was trying to be competitive and find a way without Jonathan Taylor. He just doesn't process that quickly when he doesn't have a balanced attack. Credit to the Indy defense. They're starting to find something there with Sauce Gardner, Travaris Ward coming back. They were shutting them down for about 3/4, and then Mahomes said, F it. I'm going to Rashee Rice all day, every day. I don't care if Sauce Gardner's there. They picked them apart in the fourth quarter. Rashee Rice, that's what I've been seeing. I've been wanting to see from the Chiefs here. They're trying to do too much too soon, trying to get Hollywood Brown involved. They're trying to get Travis Kelce involved. They're trying to get Xavier Worthen involved. You got one play, man. Give it to Rashee Rice and go fight and make the playoffs. And he was handling business there. They don't even have a running game. Kareem Hunt did a couple stuff there. But Indy came to play defensively. They were shutting down for 3/4. They let it get away. They should have won that game. I looked up. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Why is Mahomes having the ball here with a chance to take the lead here? It went to overtime, I think, right? I forgot.
It did.
That's when I knew, okay, it's going to be one of these games where Kansas City finally wins a one-score game here. But,
yeah,
I don't want to write off Indianapolis, call them a fraud or anything. They're just too reliant on Jonathan Taylor. And a lot of times Jonathan Taylor goes cold. And I don't think he's going to win the MVP. I don't think he's going to win Offensive Player of the Year. He's a good player, but there's probably
LT couldn't even win the MVP by himself the year that he had the 31 touchdowns. They had to co-MVP him with Drew Brees.
Yeah, you know what is it about Taylor? He just doesn't do the other stuff. Like Christian McCaffrey could catch. Jahmyr Gibbs is freaking explosive and can catch the football. So to me, I'm worried about Indy, but it was a good game. I won't crap on them too much, but they let one get away.
It's not about Jonathan Taylor. By the way, they missed DeForest Buckner yesterday. That's their run stopper and their guy that gets right through there. But
Latu stepped up with that touchdown, so at least they got something there. But you're right.
Yeah. No, Latu has 3 picks, I think, this year, which is pretty impressive.
Kind of a quiet second-year surge.
I know. So I think yesterday showed Indy all that they needed to see in Daniel Jones, and I don't think they should re-sign him. I would rather use a second-round pick and go get Mac Jones than I would
trade.
Let Danny Dimes continue.
They're kind of like the same player. One is not as timid to push the ball, I guess, and being Mac
Jones will push the ball.
Yeah,
and Danny Dimes gets a little anxious when he's in there. I could not believe by the way, my hot take for tomorrow, or what I was going to say that I'm going to wait for Dan, involves the game from today, or that game. But I really think that that Mac Jones, obviously he'd be cheaper, but if you're going to give Danny Dimes a Baker Mayfield contract, you're not going to get anything out of it. And I thought Shane Steichen made a huge mistake yesterday, and Tony Romo, in his mid-drinking, allegedly, tirades, made sense at one point, and I agreed with him. When they were at midfield, why didn't you go for it on 4th and 3? Why would you give the ball back to Kansas City and let them drain the clock? And like he said, if you would have given them the ball at midfield, they probably drain a minute 30, a minute 40 off the clock. Instead, they drained the whole time. And they tied up the game. They went into overtime, and then they ended it. No. This was an overtime. My bad. This was an overtime. But then you have 4 straight 3-and-outs where Danny Dimes just looks like he's a deer in the headlights. He pissed down his leg, and then he shat through the other one. That was an embarrassing game. And if he goes and they play Houston and he shits the bed, if they completely miss the playoffs at 8-2, if they're 8-2 and they just completely piss it away the rest of the week, which I don't think they will, I would really consider not bringing back Danny Dimes
twice, right? And then they
got Houston twice and Jacksonville
twice. Yeah, that's tough.
If he pisses and shits down his leg in all 4 of those games, there's no way you can bring him back. Like yesterday, they should have put that game away. It should have been over with. And then now you're 9-2. You're at the top of the conference again with Denver and New England. But instead, now you're looking at it and everybody's thinking, oh, yeah, you're going to get caught.
Not throwing the fact that you lost 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner, you're going to miss the playoffs?
Yeah.
That cannot happen for this team. It can't.
I know. And it was ugly. And the thing is that their corners got picked apart by Rashee Rice. They kept on putting Rashee in the slot, and then for some reason they stopped. They kind of like when they would kind of go away from their usual
Anarumo.
Anarumo, like scheme, like Tony kept on mentioning that it looked a lot like what Cincy had ran, but I don't know. I don't think Sauce is as brash as like Cam Britt Taylor and like some of these other guys. Those guys are willing to put their helmet in it and
I saw him
go
get
at
kicked
it.
by Drake London. I saw him get beat up by Rashee Rice. Like you can't be a shut corner and get beat up that badly.
Yeah, that was definitely ugly. But yeah, that was kind of my hot take from that. I just think that it was just ugly.
Yeah,
I didn't
I'm with
like
you.
what I saw. I thought they were gonna be better. Vic, do you have anything for us for the last few minutes?
I do, if you guys
Okay.
don't mind.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let me come in here and all right.
ESPN's L. Duncan is set to become the new face of Netflix's sports division.
Huh. They're all in sports, I guess.
Oh.
All right, you guys ready?
Yep.
Give me Stephen A. Smith.
Get the hell out of here.
All right, you guys were talking about the Colts and the AFC South. So is it fact or fiction that the most consequential game of the season is Jaguars Chiefs? Like everything that happens with the playoffs this season comes down to that game. Fact or fiction, Gilbert?
It's a tough question because there's a lot of head-to-head matchups, and especially in the AFC, I don't think it's gonna come. I'm gonna say fiction because it's just not gonna come down to those two teams. You got Chargers, Jaguars, Bills, Steelers, Texans, Chiefs. Like you got 6 teams battling for the wild card, and you know I don't the Ravens are gonna win the AFC North, so they're gonna be fine. That's their one path right there. But like, who's gonna make it from that 6? Like that's gonna be 3 teams they're gonna make, and then 3 who are gonna be talented teams are gonna miss out. So even the Colts,
the Ravens,
are gonna win. Like they're gonna win the AFC North. They're not that good either, but I just can't get behind Pittsburgh. So I'll say Pittsburgh doesn't make it in. After that, I don't know, man. It's anybody's guess. So to me, there's gonna be too many head-to-head matchups that are gonna be consequential. But you're right, Victor. That's the Jaguars have an advantage. They beat the Chiefs, they beat the Chargers, and that could pay off down the line.
Fernando, fact or fiction? The most consequential game of the season is Jaguars Chiefs.
I will say, yeah, that is a fact. I mean, that game, man, can you imagine if the Chiefs do not make it into the playoffs because they lost the Jags? Like,
yeah,
I think the game that's going to really determine a lot is going to be, to be honest, and I'm not trying to I don't know. I think the game that's going to decide that last wild card spot is going to be Chargers Chiefs in a couple of weeks. I don't think the Chargers are in a good spot right now. I think their offensive line is not very good. I just don't know what other combination Jim and Greg Roman and those guys can make. I really feel like that wild card game is that game is gonna tell you a lot about where those two teams are headed. But it kind of looks like Kansas City is playing better, but I still don't buy it. Like I saw them struggle yesterday. I thought at times they're lucky that any other team with not Denver. Any other team I can't even say Philly. Shit, whatever. None of the any other team basically is able to put that away. A lot of other teams would have been able to put that away, but they just couldn't. But the Colts, obviously. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that game is going to give us a lot about where this goes, because especially because like Gilbert said, the Jaguars beat the Chargers too.
You like to play games with me about where they win or where they lose. I'm gonna put you on the spot right here.
Yeah, let's go.
Off the AFC standings right now, give us your 3 wildcard teams that are gonna make it in from those 6 teams I mentioned: Chargers, Bills, Jaguars, Steelers, Texans, and Chiefs. Give me 3. Who makes it in?
Oh shit! I'm gonna.
Who are their 5?
The
your
Bills.
Fifth seed. Give me your 6th seed and give me your 7th seed right now. That are going to make it.
Is my 5th seed.
Really,
Okay.
the Bills? Wow.
They're gonna get in, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
I'll say Kansas City.
Oh,
The 6th seed,
Yeah, I'll give it to Kansas City.
and then your 7th seed is
My bad. I am so sorry. Jacksonville will be my. No, Jacksonville played like shit. I can't even give it to Jacksonville.
that was also
I'll
the
give
Cardinals.
no. I'll say no. Jacksonville's out. They don't make it.
okay.
Okay. You guys have me rooting for that freaking game. Freaking Cardinals.
Which one?
Cardinals, Jaguars.
Cardinals,
You guys
Jaguars.
cornered me into taking the Cardinals.
I'll say Kansas City's the 6th seed,
Okay.
and I'll say because of their defense, Houston is the 7th
Wow.
seed.
You hear that,
Okay.
Charger fans? No Chargers in the playoffs.
Wow.
Fernando
No
Ramirez.
Chargers. All right, Gilbert.
I really fear for Justin Herbert these next few weeks. He's facing Max Crosby, and I guess he's the only pass rusher on that. But still, I mean, but that Eagles game and that Houston game and that Denver game, I
The Raiders
fear
have
for-
quit.
Yeah, they've
Okay.
quit. But outside
Well, yeah,
of that,
didn't you see what Max Crosby said yesterday? Basically, you're playing for fun right now.
Pretty much.
all right, Gilbert.
But-
Who do you got as the 5th, 6th, and 7th seed?
Give me Houston. I really like that defense.
As your 5th seed?
Who's your
Uh,
quarterback?
You could put them at 7th.
Okay.
But yeah,
Texans.
I'm not.
Who's your
I
quarterback?
guess I don't care. CJ Stroud or Davis Mills.
I don't
What
think
kind
they make it with CJ Stroud. He is
I
not
think he
looked
could.
good.
Yeah, I think he could turn it around. He kind of had the same thing last year where he sucked for three quarters of the season and was decent enough.
Yeah, but
I
their
don't really
offensive
care.
line was a lot better.
Yeah, that's true. But give me Houston 7. Give me the Bills number 5.
But Fernando was a surprise because I had the
Yeah, I know.
and he's
that's
gonna go
the
with
thing
the
about it.
Chiefs. 6.
And F it. Give me the Jaguars.
As the 5th seed. Wow. Okay.
No,
Okay.
no, 6 seed. I got Buffalo as a 5th.
Okay.
Jaguars
so
6, and then I
okay,
got Houston.
Bills.
Is that the same ones as you, Fernando? Now I think about it.
no,
No, he's
had
got
Kansas
Bills,
City.
Chiefs, Texans. You have
That's right,
Bills, Jacks, Texans. So you
You
have
remember-
three. You have
Come on,
3
man.
South teams making the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Houston's gonna beat KC in a couple weeks. That's gonna be my bold pick of the week.
He
Oh, he-
like was
He's
right
the
last
guy
week.
that says that you're always picking on the right secondary. Jesse Siles, Gilbert.
That was
Come
like
on,
an hour
Jesse.
ago.
I gave you your credit yesterday. They're playing better. They are feisty, but they don't have Pro Bowlers and All Pro. So, talent is a problem there, Jesse. But you're right. They have gotten
Look
better.
at the
They are
secondary
stepping
that
up.
won them the Super Bowl, and look at their secondary now.
Yeah. So at some point, Jesse, don't be surprised if they get exposed. But I like the chippiness, the feistiness. They're ball hawking. They're
One of
doing
these
well.
days, before they make the playoffs, if they're the number 1 seed, then you guys in that week off have to look at: would you rather have the 2022 Rams or this Rams going into the playoffs? That'd be an interesting Aaron Donald and Von Miller over Jared Verse and what's his name? Kobe
Durant. Kobe Durant,
No,
Darius Williams.
Yeah, those guys. No, I had Kansas City, and Dan said it the other day when we were doing picks, and he goes, "They're not going to let them not win this game." And there were some bullshit penalties that got thrown out, like the one where what's his name, Grover Stewart fell with all of his body weight. Grover Stewart tackled him and went sideways. So I just don't get it. But yeah, that is true. We will see what the Patriots are made of when they go to Baltimore. That's going to be a tough game. But Lamar and that offense have been playing like shit. So I don't know what's going on with that either.
We're good to go, guys.
They've been pretty bad. But yeah, we got to get
Who
going
you guys
here.
got tonight? Carolina or San Francisco?
I'm sticking with Carolina here. I'm sure Fernando has 49ers. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm going 49ers.
Segment for you called Catch Me If You Can. So I we'll
I went to go watch that.
Yeah.
I was not too happy with it. Oh wait, no. Catch me with you can. That's a great one. No, now you
Yeah.
see me. I have my.
All right. Go
All
ahead
right.
and get us out of here, Fernando.
All right. Appreciate everybody so much. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. We'll be back tomorrow. Dan and Vic will be on. Obviously, we will go through. Vic, do we know yet, or is that going to be a surprise?
Oh, I said I have a segment called "Catch Me If You Can" tomorrow.
Oh, that's what you were saying. I thought you were talking
Yes.
about I'm going to go watch Catch Me If You Can. I'm like,
no, that's
that
going to be
old?
our segment tomorrow. I have
Okay.
I have a little game for the three of you guys that I want you guys to participate. It won't end till the end of the season, but I can't wait to talk about it tomorrow.
And then I play Catch Me with Thick Women. That's crazy. All right. And then Gilbert and I, before the fellas jump in, fork them or not, or unfork them, we'll see what Gilberto says because it is week 12. So, again, thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. We'll be back tomorrow. Do not forget. But yeah, don't forget to check us out. Like, comment, subscribe. You guys are the best. Gilbert, get us out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here. One more game for week 12, Panthers, 49ers, and then we're going to recap it tomorrow on 4 Compas on the Tuesday show. It's time to get going. Ya nos vamos, pues. Vámonos.